Once upon a time, in the middle of winter, a queen sat sewing by a window with a frame of polished black ebony. As she gazed at the falling snow, she accidentally pricked her finger with her needle, and 3 drops of bright red blood fell onto the white drapes. Seeing the red against the white, she made a wish. How I wish I had a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hairs as black as ebony. Soon after, the queen gave birth to a baby girl exactly as she had wished and named her Snow White. Sadly, the queen passed away shortly after the birth. A year later, the king married a new woman. She was very beautiful but also incredibly vain and cruel. She possessed a magic mirror, and every day she would ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the land is the fairest of all?" The mirror would always answer, "Thou, O Queen, art the fairest of all." However, as Snow White grew up, she became more and more beautiful. By the time she was 7 years old, she was even lovelier than the queen herself. One day, when the queen asked her mirror, it replied, "Queen, thou art a beauty rare, but Snow White is 1,000 times more fair." The queen turned pale with envy and ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the deep forest to kill her. But the huntsman took pity on the innocent girl and let her go, telling her to run as fast as she could. Snow White ran through the woods until she found a tiny, charming cottage. Inside, everything was small but very neat, with 7 little plates and 7 little beds. Exhausted and hungry, she ate a bit of food and fell fast asleep in the seventh bed. When evening came, the master of the house, 7 dwarfs, who mined for gold, returned and found Snow White. After hearing her sad story, they kindly invited her to stay. Each day, the dwarfs went into the forest to work while Snow White looked after the house. They warned her constantly, "Be careful, do not let any strangers in, for the queen will surely find you." Just as the dwarf feared, the evil queen soon discovered that Snow White was still alive and tried to harm her through 3 cunning disguises. First, she dressed as a peddler and tricked Snow White into buying a lace bodice, which she tied so tightly that the girl could not breathe and clap. Fortunately, the dwarf returned just in time to cut the laces and save her. Not giving up, the queen returned and a different old woman with a poison comb, which caused Snow White to fall unconscious the moment it touched her hair. But once again, the dwarfs arrived in time to remove the comb and bring her back to life. Finally, the queen poisoned the red side of a beautiful apple and disguised herself as a kind peasant woman to trick the innocent girl. The moment Snow White took a bite, she fell to the ground lifeless, and this time, despite her best effort, the dwarf could not wake her. Heartbroken, the dwarfs placed Snow White in the glass coffin and carried it to the top of the mountain. Many years passed until a prince came across the beautiful girl lying there and fell deeply in love. He asked the dwarf to permission to bring her to his palace. As the servants carried the coffin, they stumbled over some tree roots, and the sudden jolt caused the piece of poisoned apple to fly out of Snow White's throat. She woke up instantly and happily agreed to become the prince's bride. At their grand wedding, the Wicked Queen was also invited. When she realized that the new bride was Snow White, she was frozen with shock and rage. Her evil heart shattered, and she fell dead on the spot. From then on, Snow White and the prince lived together in happiness forevermore. So, that's all for today. Hope the story brings you a good night's sleep. Really nice to meet you guys.